Hello everyone, it's Professor Sadiq Noor, and today I'm gonna show you and demonstrate to you how you're gonna complete your Excel exploring the function library independent project 6-5. So I will go through the steps to show you how you're gonna complete this assignment, and also you will know about how the functions been used in this project. So let's start. So the first thing is, as you see, I'm in the assignments, SimNet assignment. I'm under the Excel exploring the function library independent project 6-5. So the first thing is we have to download. There's gonna be just a single file that we need to download to work on it. So let's click on start file. As you see, the start file is downloaded. I will click on it to open it in Excel. As you see the file open in Excel, so let's go to the instruction and I will scroll down. So actually the skill that you're gonna learn in this project is about the Xmatch index function, and then how to evaluate the formula that has an error in it, how to create the dsum formulas, how to build the sum formulas, how to concat left and repeat to mask the names, and how to calculate the depreciation using the financial function. So in this project, the first step is to open the classic gardens -06, which I did in front of you, and then you have to enable editing. So go back. Always when you download, the starting file is protected. So it says protected view. So you have to enable it. The first thing, you have to click on the enable editing. Now we have different sheets. As you see, employee assurance, criteria, sections, transaction stats, transactions, and then we have the depreciation. So let's go back. So let's check the first option. Now we have to create a nested index and Xmatch function to display the number of transactions by the city. So you will put a city, and then we have to find out the number of transactions by that specific city. So to do that, first we have to go to the transaction sheet, and then we have to select the range A4 all the way to D29, and we have to name it stats, like for stats. So I will highlight this because I will be using it. So to save me time, I copied Control and C. Or you can write it down, you can type it. So I will go now to the transaction. So I'm in the transaction sheet, and then I have to click on A4 and highlight all the way to D29. A4 all the way to D29. And then in the name box, we have to name this selection as stat, like statistics, so stats, and then press the enter key. So the whole thing now from A4 to D29 is being named as states. After that, next, we have to click the transaction stat sheet tab. So we have to go to the next one, transaction stats. And then I will zoom in a little bit so you're gonna see what I'm gonna do here. All right. So I will go to the instruction. Now the next thing is we have to click B16 for the worksheet transaction stats, and we have to type in B16 Springfield. So I will copy the Springfield, Control and C, go back to your Excel file. So this here is B and then 16. So that's where you have to paste the Springfield city, right? And then we need to find out the number of transaction. So you will see that when I will find out the transaction, there's gonna be an error because you see here the number of transaction has off, and then if you go to this transaction worksheet, it has only number sign without the off transaction, right? So obviously there's gonna be an error, but we will fix it later on. So let's go back and let's follow the steps in the instruction. So we put Springfield in B16. Now in C16, we have to use the index function, and then we have to type in the first argument of the index, we have to select the range from the transaction worksheet that we named it stats, right? So let's see how. So I am now in C16. You will go to formulas, the function library. You will go to the lookup, and then you will go all the way to find the index function. So in the index, there are two arguments. You have to select array, row, number, and column number. So this is the argument I need. So click OK. Now it's gonna open the dialog box for the index, right? For the index. Now the array, as we said, is gonna be the stats. So one way is you can click here, the arrow, and then click the transaction worksheet and select all these from A4 all the way to D29. And you see the name is stats. Now click this arrow here to take us back to the formula dialog box. Now the next is the row num. So go back to the instruction, and then we have to type the stat which we did. Now under the row num, we have to nest an xmatch function. So the xmatch function, we have to put it in the row num. So you will go back, you will click the row, right? Now, sometime the xmatch should be under the number group, the name box here. So you will click the drop down, and if you don't see the xmatch, then obviously you will go to more function. It's gonna open the insert function dialog box. Then you have to, in the middle box, you will have to go here and choose lookup and references and scroll all the way down until you see the X match. So the X match actually returns the relative position of an item in an array. By default, the exact match is required. So it returns the relative position of an item in an array. So click OK. Now it opens the X match, right? So it's asking us now, what is your lookup value, what you are looking at? So go back, and then we did this. Now our lookup will be 16, B16, because we are looking for Springfield, right? So go back to your Excel and type B16, which is, or you can just click here and you can select B16, right? You can just click on this and then click this arrow to take us back to the Xmatch dialog box. Now, what is your lookup array? Lookup array is the range, the array or range to search the Springfield from. So that one should be under the transaction worksheet, this one here. So you will go back to your instruction, and then they said A4 all the way to A29. That's the name of the city actually. That's we have to look up in this array, right? For the B16 value. So to do that, We will go back and then we will hit the arrow and then we will go to the transaction worksheet and then we will select A4, the city, all the way to A29 and then click this arrow to take us back. Now we're done with this. You don't need the mode and the search mode. Now, next what you need to do is that you have to go to the formula bar and click the index. Now click OK. Now it's gonna take us back to the index. Now we need to select the column number. So for the column number, we're gonna use the X match again. So now you can go to the name box and then click the drop down and check if you see X match. So I see in my case, it's the first one. I will click on it. When I clicked it, now it opens the dialog box for X match. So what will be our lookup? It's gonna be C15. So let's read. Now we clicked the index from the formula bar, and then we click the column number box, and then we have to nest the second X match function to look up for C15. And then we have to select the column name, the title of the column in the transaction worksheet, which is from A4 to D4. So first we need the lookup value. So click the black arrow, select C15 because I'm looking for the number, I'm matching the number of transaction. So click down. Now you are looking the number of transaction from which table, which array of range. So you will click on the arrow, you will go to the transaction, and then what you need to do is you have to select A4 all the way to D4. And then click the arrow. Now everything looks perfect. Now we have to click the index from the formula bar here. Now, obviously, as I told you, there's going to be an error. So click OK. As you see now, we have an error, right? The error is because of this. You see, you are looking for a number of transaction. And then when you selected the second X match, here we have what? Number transaction without the off. So that's the issue. Let's read. So we're done with all this. And now the problem is we have to fix the never applicable to get the actual value there, right? So it says that you have to click on C16. We are in C16, and then we have to go to the formula and we have to evaluate the formula. Under the formula tab, you have to go to formula auditing, right? And then we have to evaluate to walk through each step of the formula. The error occurs at the fifth click. The second X match function has the issue. So let's check these two. So you will go to your Excel. We are in C16. You will go to formula, the formula tab, and then look for formula auditing. Click on evaluate, and then we have to look for the second one where you're gonna see an underline. So click 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the one, right? That's the one has the issue. The second X match. So then close it. Still we have this issue there. So we close the dialog box. Now, one thing as I showed you earlier in the transaction worksheet, the C4 label is number space transactions, whereas in the transaction stats worksheet, which is C15, the label is number of. Let me show you. You see in C15 is what? Number of transaction. And when you go here, it is what? C4 is number transaction. So that's where the problem is. So we will go back and then we have to delete the off. So now to edit the label to delete the word off and verify that there is one space between the numbers symbol and the word transactions. So go back. First, we're gonna do this and we will take off this. So that's perfect. All right. Now go back and then you see that we fixed it and we get 1610. Now everything is working perfect because this should match this. If it doesn't, that's why you had the NA, right? Now we have to go here and then we have to change it so that we're gonna see now what will be the transaction number for Semrana. So copy this, Control and C, and then change the Springfield, click on B16 and paste. Now is 1420, the transaction. So you can put any kind of city here. It's gonna tell you the number transactions. So 1220. Now, the next thing we need to do is we have to select the C16 and we have to format comma star with no dot decimal place. So we will select the C16. We will go to the Home tab, the number group, and then we need the comma without decimal place. So that's decrease decimal. Decrease decimal. Click it twice. Perfect. That's what we need. All right. So if you lost the box, you can just click here and then go back to the home, click here, and then select all box. All right. So that is done. Now we have to go to step number 4. We have to use the dsum, the database sum to summarize the transaction and the visit data. So for this one, we have to go to the criteria worksheet. So click on the orange one, criteria. So that's the criteria. In the criteria, we need now in B2, we need to type this one, the line, what the star means. I don't know what the what's after the landscape. So instead of typing landscape design department, we can just say the beginning LAN and the start, the asterisk. So to do that, I will copy this and I will put it under what? B2. So let's go back, B1 and then B2, paste. Now we're gonna do something for B5 and B9. So let's go back. In B5, we have to type loan, law and the star means we are looking for loan and maintenance department. Copy, paste. Now let's go to the last one. So the last one is the patio and furniture department, right? So for this one, let me check what I did. So I did this. So I'm here now. So we have to select B8 and type patio. For the patio and furniture is gonna be PAT and the star. P-A-T and the star. All right. Let me zoom what I did. All right. Now let's go back and read. Now we need to select the transaction sheet and note that the transaction in the third column and the visit are in the fourth column. So just to examine, let's go to the transactions and you see the visit is in fourth column and the transaction is in the third. So that's what they said. Select the transaction sheet. Note that the transaction are in the third column and the visit are in the fourth. As I show you. So one is here and the third and the install visit is in D4. All right. So let's check this now. Now click the transaction stat sheet and select B7. Let's go back and select the green tab, which is the transaction stats, and select B7, total transaction column for the landscape design. So for this one, we have to use the dsum, D for database, and we have to sum. So the dsum, use the dsum from the database category with the range name is the stats as the database argument, right? And then we're gonna type 3 for the field argument, which is the field number 3 in the column, in the transaction worksheet. And then we have to make it absolute, right? So the B1 all the way to B2 should be absolute on the criteria. So I will show you how to do it. So let's go back. So we will go to formulas and I don't see the database, right? So what you're gonna do, you're gonna go to insert and then you will click the drop down and look for database and then scroll all the way down until you see the dsum. So the dsum function adds the numbers in the field, which is the column of records in the database that matches the condition you specify. So our condition will be the loan that we said with the star, and then we said the patio with the star, right? So we're going to use those one there. So I will click OK. So the first one is asking us, what's the database? What's the references, right? So if you go back to your transaction, so check this, and we need to select the range name stats. So to do that, you will have to press the FN, press what? FN. FN function is in some of the laptop, the latest laptop, you will see this key. At the same time, you have to press F3 so that we're gonna paste the range that we need as our database, right? So I will show you. So we need to hold the FN and then press the F3. Now I will click inside the database box and then FN F3. And then I will click OK, or you can type it. Now we're gonna find out the field, which column in that range. So the stat actually is what was here, this one, all this, all right? So let me delete this. So the field number is 3, right? So let's go back. We will tap 3 for the field argument, which is the column number 3 under the transaction worksheet. And then we have to select B1 all the way to B2 from the criteria worksheet. So let's go down. Now, what's your criteria? What's your condition? Criteria is the range of cells that contain the condition you specify. The range includes the column label and one cell before the label for a condition. So to do that, we will go to the criteria and we will select B1 and B2, right? And now we want to make B1 and B2 to be absolute. So you will have to press, this time you will press what? To make it absolute, Fn, Fn, plus, at the same time you have to press F4. All right? Why we need that? We want to make the B1 and B2 to be absolute. Absolute. Absolute means we want to fix it. We don't want to go down to the empty space when I will copy the formula. So we want to make it absolute. All right? So let me show you how to do it. So when you are here, hold the Fn and press F4. Now only the B2 been absolute, so go back to the left of the B1 and press F4 again until you see the dollar sign before the B1 and then also the dollar sign before the B and before the 2, right? So the answer is going to be 1155. So click OK. And let's go back to the instruction. And it says that the result has to be 115, which we got it. Now we need to copy the formula in B7 to C7. So hold the square, not this, you know, to go down, and you will see the square, the green square. Move your cursor until you see a tiny plus and hold the left key and drag it to the right for C7, right? Now let's go back to the instruction. Now they said use the D sum function for B add and also to all the way to C9, right? So for the remaining department, we only took one department, so we need to find for this one, the loan and the maintenance and the patio, right? So to do that, I will go here, I will fill it down, I will get the same thing, right? So now what you need is select this, right? And then go to the formula and the function library, and you can click the FX. It's gonna open the formula. So what we need is delete the criteria. Now your criteria is gonna be department B5, right? Then go back to the left of the B4 and press Fn and F4. And then go to the right of the B5 and press Fn and F4 to make it absolute. Now click OK. Now we will go to the next one. So the next department is the patio. So obviously we need to change it. So click the fx function to open the formula. The problem is the B2 because of big absolute, right? So you need to take it out and select this one and then click OK. Now let's go here and everything look Perfect now. Copy this, right? So let's go back and let's see, is the formula right? 3987. So everything, this one is perfect. Let's see. So we have 14,790. Yep, that's perfect. So we will look for this one. Now let's go a little bit up. So here that we copied the B to 7, now added the field argument in C7 to use the fourth column, right? So let's go back and you see here, that's the total visit, right? So if you open the FX, that will be the field number 4. Now click OK. Now let's fill it down. All right, so let's check this one, FX, and then we have to change the criteria also. So that should be this one. So highlight, or you cannot just change it to B, change the 2 to 5, and then this one. Let's see this one. In C7, they said we have to change the column, so we did that. So we changed it to the fourth column. Now use the D sum and then fill up the remainder. So let's go back. So we have to highlight this. All right. So let's see here what we have. So here we have to change it. It has to be 4. And then this one. You can double click it or you can go to the insert function. And then we have to change the column to 4. Okay, so what is this one? The table, the criteria is from C7 to C. So let's see. So we have it a little bit is not matching. So let me check what I did. So select the formula. Let's go up. So we copied this, then added the field argument in C7 to use the fourth column. Use the D sum in B8 all the way to C9 to calculate the result of the 2. So after this, select. So now let's double click here and change this to 4. The column, the field. Then go back here and change this to 4. All right. So this one is giving us the stats. Okay, we will see if we run with a problem with this, because this one, it has to be according to this. It has to be 4002. So let's change the criteria is from, let me check what was the criteria was B7 to B8. B to B8. Now it looks perfect. So what you need is just you have to copy and then change the column, which is the field, to 4. The column actually in database we call it field. And then you have to change the criteria belong to the past year on this. So that will give us the total visits. Now let's go back and we need to select the format from, we have to go back. Let I miss this here. So we did all this, all right? So we need to, let me check all these options. Let's go here. Now we need to sum in the cell in B10 all the way to C10. B10 all the way to C10. You will go to the formula function, the auto sum, and hit the sum. All right. So go back and then select all the values and comma with no decimal. So go back, select all the values, go back to the home, select the number group, comma, and then with decimal. So we have to press the decrease decimal to twice, 2 times. 1, 1, 2. Perfect. So if you go down, it looks perfect. Now we did this. We have to select D7 and enter the formula to divide the cell C7 by cell B7. So let's go to D7. You will start with equal C7 divided by B7. Press the enter key. Now select and fill it down. Now we need to change this to percentage. So we divided the C by B7. Now format to percent with 2 decimal place. It's already been highlighted. I'm under the home tab, number group, click on percentage, and we need 2 decimal places. That's the increase decimal 1, 2. Now click back to instruction. Now copy the format to complete the column A5. So copy and then let's go to A5 here. So everything look perfect, right? Now I will teach you the next, we are in step number 6. Use the sum if to calculate the insurance claims and the dependents by city and departments. So we're gonna use the sum ifs to total insurance claims and departments by city and departments. So the first thing is we need to click the employee insurance worksheet and then we have to click on E25. The employee insurance is the last worksheet under the tab worksheet or the sheet tab. Click on employee insurance and click on E25. This is E column and we are looking for 25. All right. Now next is use the ifs with an absolute reference to the cell E4 all the way to E2 as the sum range. So first let's pull up the sum ifs. So you will go to the formulas, function library, and we are looking for the math and trigonometry and look for sums, sum ifs. This is the sum ifs. The sum ifs actually is used when you are about multiple condition or criteria. So the sum range will be from E4 to E23. So I can copy this. I can put it here, or you can select from here by clicking this. Okay, so that's the range actually. From E4, if you go a little bit up, is the dependent E4 all the way to 23. So we want to make it to be absolute. So press the F4. Fn, then F4. So the E4 is not there. So you need to move your arrow to the beginning. And that one also has to be absolute. So press the Fn, F4. Now, what's your criteria range? The criteria range one is the range of the cell you want to evaluate for the particular condition. So let's read. In your criteria underscore range one argument is the absolute reference of D4 all the way to D23, right? And the criteria one will be pre, right? Pre and the star. So when you don't want to type the whole thing, just put the asterisk, the star is going to represent Brentwood, the city of Brentwood. So you type BRE. I don't want to type the whole word. So you're gonna type BRE and the star or the asterisk. All right. So I will copy this because I will need it for my criteria one. So for the criteria range, it's gonna be D4. So select the black arrow. D4, which is the city. D4 all the way to, and then go back. And then we have to make it absolute. So go back to the beginning. F and F4. And then F and F4. You have to do that twice. Now your criteria is the Brentwood. You are looking for Brentwood. So I copied from the instruction, the pre, right? Let's go back and check this option. We're done with it. Now the next criteria two will be C4 all the way to C23. And then in the criteria, we have to find out the next one, which is the landscape design department, right? So that would be the criteria, but the range from where we need to see this is C4 all the way to C23. So let's go back. In your criteria range, we said the department. So you will click this, C4 all the way to C23. Go back, press FN, F4. And then see the C4 is not having the dollar sign. So you need to move your arrow to the C4 and press F and F4. So when you see the dollar sign in C4 and C23, you did it perfectly. Now, what's the criteria? The criteria is L, A, W, and the star. So let's go back and let's see is that the one we need. No, it's LAN, so it's not W. Actually, I tapped it the right way. So instead of W, so I will take it out with the backspace. So that's the one here. So let's go back. And then we have to click OK. So E25 should have 10. So you see I don't have anything equal to what? So click anywhere in the boxes. 10. Now click OK. So the number of dependent for breadword landscape is 10. So we need to copy this down here. You can download or copy all, then we will change. Or let's go through the directions. We done this. Now we need to build the if for E26 all the way to 2 based on the criteria displayed in row 26 all the way to 28. So for this one, actually, we will copy this one, right? So from here, we will have to find a Springfield and the HR, right? So you will go here and click at the FX, and then you will change the criteria for this one is gonna be SPI, all right? You will tap S because you are looking for the dependent for the Springfield here. So it's PI and the star, and then go down, and the next one will be the Hummer resources. So HUM. Let's see. Let me do it again. So obviously the answer should be 4. The answer should be 4. So we were here. So let's go back. So this one, we had all this, right? And then we have a sprint field. Okay, let's do it again. Good. So let's go back here. So we will delete the criteria is gonna be, I did wrong earlier actually. So it's gonna be SPR for Springfield and the star. And then for this one, it's gonna be my next criterion will be HUM and the star. Now I have four, you see, it's working well. So that's four. Now we will copy this down. But if you double click this, what is involved here is we are looking for the number of claims for the Forest Hill and the patio, right? So what we need to do in this case, we will have to switch the dependent to this. So what you need is, you see I have four black arrow, hold the left key and drag it here. So that one is being fixed, right? And then we need to change. So you can click the FX and change this one to forest will be FOR and the star. And then the next one will be, we are looking for the number of claim for Forest Hills and Patio. So TAT and then put the star. Now click OK. So I have six. Let's do now copy this down. Now let's go to this. Click the FX. So obviously now this will change. You're looking for the number of claim of Gallatin. So type GAL and then put the star for the remaining letters. And then go here and change this to lawn. So it's gonna be LAW and the star. And now click OK. Move your cursor up here, it should be 0. So let's go to our instruction. So format the border to remove inconsistent if any. So go back. Highlight, go to the home, click on the box. It's perfect. Undo. So let's select all this. All box. Actually, this one has. So let's go back and see what they want. Format the border to remove inconsistencies, if any. Everything look okay. So you can choose them. The style we can change it to this one. So let's go back. Now is step number 7. Use the repeat with the left and the concave to join two line or to join the line. And then from the left, how many letters you want. And then if you want to repeat any characters, any symbols you want to repeat it, we use the repeat function. So we have to now, in the same worksheet, we are in the employee assurance. So the first thing here they said, we need to unhide the column I. So select the H, hold the shift key, select J, and then you see I have a white between the H and J. That's the I actually. So do right click on it and then unhide. So you see we unhided this. Now we have to go to the B4 to find out the last name and then the three letters. And instead of Lopez, we will say LOP. And then we have to put 20 stars after the LOP, after the beginning three left characters, letters. So to do that, you will go back to your Excel. And then we will go to, let's go here. So we unhided the column I and we selected before. Now start the concat function, the text, and then we have to use the nested function, the left function, and we have to select the L4, which is this one, L and 4, right? So let's go to the formulas, go to the function library and the text function, and then we have to use concat. Concat's a list or range of text string. Once you have this, now we're gonna use the left function within the concat. So the text will be, you will type the function left and then open parentheses, and then you will select L for I4, and then comma 3. You want 3 letters from the left of Lopez, so LOP. Mandero, you will have MEA, right? So close the parentheses. Then the next thing, the next text you want. So we did this, we put the I within the left, and then the number of character we are looking, we put 3 after the I4. Now we will go to the text 2, and then we have to put repeat text 2. Then we will type repeat. We will open the repeat, double quotation, put the star you want to repeat, this the asterisk we want to repeat, comma, how many times? 20 times. As you see what we're gonna see, and then close the parentheses. So I want to repeat the character, the asterisk, how many times? 20 times. As you see, the output is gonna look like this. After the last name, so 3 letters of the last name, and then you will see the star. Now click OK, and then you have to fill it down. Right? So Concord, we get CON. Right? So go back and check all these options here. Now we copied to get all the. Now copy the formula and preserve the borders. So let's see what they have the borders. So they have it. Okay. So let's go back. So everything look perfect except this one here. So you can go to home. Now everything look perfect. Now this one, the border, let's get the formatted. I can highlight this and go here, and then we have to change the line, and it look perfect. Okay, now let's go back to the instruction. We did all this. We are almost at the end. Now we need to hide the I and select cell A1. So you will go select the I, do right click on the I, and then hide. As you see, I have the white vertical line here. That's where you had the edge. Now, the next one is we have to calculate the depreciation for any asset using the financial function. Depreciation is the decrease in the value of the asset as it ages. So we have to use the financial function. Depreciation actually is the decrease in the value of the asset as it ages. So for this one, we have to open the depreciation worksheet or the sheet tab and click C11. The first one is the depreciation worksheet. Click on it. Click on C11. So we have the cost of equipment. We have the salvage value, life in years, and then we have to find what will be for each year, the amount. So to do that, we have to go to the financial and find DB. The DB function calculates the loss in a value over a specified period of time at a fixed rate. So the DB function is to calculate the loss in a value over specified period of time at a fixed rate. All right. So let's go click the formula. First, you have to be in C11 under the depreciation worksheet. Go to formula. You should be under the formula function library. Now look for more. Click the down arrow. Click on the stats and then go down until you see DB. Is it financial? Not stat, sorry, financial and DB. DB returns the depreciation of an asset for a specified period using the fixed declining balance method. So when we click the DB function, it opens the function argument dialog box for the DB. So what's the cost? The cost is in C6. We want to make it absolute. So hold the Fn and F4. So let's go back. Select the C as your cost. And to make it absolute, you have to press the Fn key and F4. If you have a keyboard doesn't have Fn, then just press the F4 to make it absolute, your reference. Now the salvage, which is C7. So salvage, click on the salvage now, click on salvage value is the 50,000, make it absolute, all the Fn and F4. Then the third one would be the life is the number of period over which the asset is being depreciated. Sometimes called the useful life of the asset. What's the life of the asset? So it's 8 years. So click on 8, make it absolute. Fn, F4. Now let's go back. We did this. Now the period will be B11. The first formula will calculate the depreciation for the first year. So go back and then click the period will be B, column B and 11, right? Do we need to make absolute no? Because when I will copy the formula, it's gonna move to B12, B13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. But if you make it absolute, then it's gonna stick here, right? So we don't need. But for this one, yes, we need to make it absolute. So that will be relative. Now click OK. And then let's fill it down. Hold the fill point or the fill handle. Hold the left key of your mouse and drag it down to 8. Let's go down. So the first year should be 31,800. Now copy the formula which we did. Now we have to select C19 and use the auto sum so that the total depreciation plus the salvage value is approximate equal to the original cost. So let's do that. C19, you will go to the formulas, function library, the auto sum, click the down black arrow and click sum, and then click OK. So here you go. So if you go down, 149,950,71. So everything looks okay. So now we need to save and upload and see what the grade is gonna be at the end of the day. So let me save it. Floppy, you can go to File and Save. Now I will close it. I will go up to my assignment. I will click Upload my file. I will go to my download. The file is here that I completed. I will click Open. I will say yes. So we have 93. So let's see what the problem is. One is under the DS in B2. Okay, so I have to check this. The D sum. So let's check this one. So the D sum. So let me open my file again quickly. That happens. Everyone is not perfect, right? So open. And let's go back to the instruction. So we are looking for D sum, okay? D sum. So the D sum, right? In the criteria worksheet. So go back, go to the criteria, and so what we said. So lane is there, law, and path is there. So let's get to the formula. So this one is good. What the issue is. So let's see here. The comment with no decimal place. So in cell B10 in the transaction state. Okay, I'm here. So we are here. Let me move these down. So let's fix this one quickly. So they said in B10 does not have the correct format. B10. So B10. Yeah, B10. So it was a dollar sign, so they don't want the dollar sign. So we remove that. I just click the comma, and then we do not have a correct and no decimal place with no decimal. So and decrease the decimal to none. So that's perfect. We fixed this one. So this one is good. Okay, what's the other problem? So this one, I'm good with this. Now let's check this one. So let's check this here in the criteria one. So B2, Alan is good. So one is that either we have to put the whole thing, the patio and furniture department. So remember here I put patio pet. So let's try again. Let me save it. Let's upload it again. So let me save it, minimize it, upload. So we have one partial thing here. Okay. We have problem with using the dsum to calculate the result for 2. So let's go back and find what's this. B8. Use the dsum in cell B8 all the way to C9. B8. So highlight this. So we did that. So this was the commas, and then we don't want comma. So we copied this, and then we have to change the criteria to 4, and then this one, change the column to 4. B8. Also, we forgot to put the absolute actually. So Fn, F4, now copy this to here, and then double click this, change the column from 3 to 4. Now let's check. It should be okay now. So we hold this and we copy. So that's perfect. This one is perfect. This one is perfect. This one and this one is good. This one, this one. Now that will be, that's it. I should get 100 now. Minimize, upload. There you go. See, 100%. So you have to work on. If there's any problem, don't give up. keep on check what the error is. So I went back, and the only problem that I saw was I forgot to make the B7 and B8 to be absolute. So that messed up my grade. So I went back and I fixed it, and now in front of you, I had 100%. So I hope that you have learned how to use and how to explore the function library in your independent project. And we have done a bunch of functions, and I went through the steps. And at the end, we have to fix a little bit some of the one of the error we had. So, and then we score the 100 percent that we want. So I hope you learn everything from this video, and I need you to subscribe to my channel and be sure to like my channel so that I can create more videos like that to help you understand Excel uh, in an excellent way. So thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye.